This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, highlighting all of Section 3, interviewing the greatest local coaches and athletes. Brought to you by SummitCars.com, broadcasting in the ESPN studios. Here's your host, Mike Bristol, and Eagle Newspapers' Phil Blackwell.
All right, here we are on it in the great Phil Blackwell. Phil, what's been going on, buddy?
Oh, we got past January. We finally got out of January, and we're into February. And this will be neat. This will be the first time, and maybe the only time, in the history of the Inside High School Sports Show where we have 5 programs in February.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, savor it, folks.
It's like leap year, Phil? What's going on?
Yeah, somehow.
All right, we got our Wegmans winning spotlight interview. We'll kick things off with the Chittenden girls volleyball team. You know, this team dominated Section 3 Class B winner girls volleyball here in recent years. Chittenden received an early season jolt in December when it surrendered a 2-set lead and lost to Cortland in 5. But that may have been the best thing for the Bears, who have since rattled off 14 wins in a row. And on Wednesday night, got revenge against Cortland, beating the Purple Tigers in 4 sets, getting set to go after a sectional title again. So the Bears head coach, Class A, obviously, Amy Simmons will be here with us. With I think Jade is there. I think Savannah's got it. I think Sarah Martin is there. Tori Foreign. I think Chelsea's coming in. A great group of girls all here in studio for this Chittenden girls volleyball team.
What I'll say about this group, is that they took that initial defeat, and then they've been rolling since in the way they have in the last couple of years. The difference this season will come here in the postseason once they start it next week, because this year they've been pushed up to Class A. And what that means is that they are part of a fantastic field that includes the last couple of sectional champions, Carthage and Whitesboro. Very strong program. Not to mention this Cortland team, who they've had 2 great battles with. So whoever wins this sectional championship in Class A is really going to earn it, because you've got at least 4 powerful programs in the top, and any one of them can take it.
No question about it. Right after that, we've got our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview with members of the Cicero North Syracuse girls basketball team. And after building a championship dynasty that spanned the better part of a decade, the CNS girls basketball team had to watch someone else, West Genesee, prevail in Section 3 in the last 3 years. To change that, the North Stars tested themselves in December, and once back home here, have won 8 in a row, including a big win over Baldwinsville on January 17th. So their head coach, Eric Smith, is here, and 4 of his players, Jessica Cook, Mackenzie White, Gabby Hillman, Alexandra Miller, all here in studio to talk about the Cicero North Syracuse girls basketball team.
The thing about CNS is that their challenges this season were twofold. First, they played in a tournament up in the Albany area where they had to face maybe the 2 strongest teams in Section 2, Shenandoah from Class AA and Naperville Park. Both teams beat them. Then they went to the Nike Tournament of Champions in Arizona. CNS's reputation, obviously, for a long time precedes them. But they lost 3 of the 4 games there. And the best of the fact was they faced some brutal competition early. But since they've come back home, they've swept all their league foes. And they've done it with a mix of ways. Sometimes it's been Cook dominating inside. Sometimes he's had as much as 36, 37 points in the game. Other times they've been able to spread the production out a little bit more. And all the constant is defense. They really can shut a team down with their depth, because they know, if you play defense, then you don't have to worry about who gets the points. So there you go.
All right, let's talk a little bit about in the last week of January. Obviously, it's February 1st. Let's talk about last week, Phil. A lot of focus on boys basketball would again turn toward West Genesee after avenging an early season defeat to Liverpool last Saturday with some clutch free throw shooting after it trailed late in the 4th quarter. The Wildcats would on last Tuesday host Corcoran, whom it beat in December, with Willamika scoring 36 points and just had Jajura Reeves and DJ Haynes combined for only 67 in a much-needed win over Hettinger last week. Then let's talk about Friday, West Genesee against Baldwinsville, perhaps with first place in the SCAC Metro at stake. The Wildcats, remembering that J.J. Starling scored 16 fourth-quarter points on them in the first encounter at the start of that month in Beeville. Let's talk about what happened.
First, on Tuesday night, it was quite a game. West Genesee and Corcoran, another classic, another down-to-the-wire battle. And again, West Genesee came on top, 67-66. A very tight game. They spread out their attack well. and they were able to match whatever Reeves and was throwing at them. Then last night, a packed house in Camillus, overflow crowd at West Genesee. There were rumors the Duke coaches were going to be there to watch Starling. I don't think they showed up. But it was a strange game because no one could do much for the first 2.5 quarters. Then Willamika scores 10 straight points in the third. Then Starling answers with 12 straight points to put his team on top after he'd slumped. Then it goes back and forth until West Genesee hangs on at the end. Starling missed a chance for a tying basket in the final seconds. But West Genesee won that game by 4, and by doing so, may have taken a leap toward the league championship. And they've not finished with 3 straight road games. But that game, by getting even, 49-45, West Genesee and Beeville split their 2 regular season games. There could be a third meeting, and if so, it's anyone's guess. Again, Class AA, there's very little separation among its top teams, whether it's West Genesee, Beeville, Ludden, Corcoran, and teams like Henniger or Liverpool or Nottingham could up and beat these teams as well. So plenty unsettled going into February.
Nice job. Also, we've got our private school powers met in a pair of weekend showdowns. Bishop Ludden was a focal point, possessing Class AA's best record. The Gaelic Knights appeared to back up that point with a fourth quarter comeback to beat Grimes in a 68-65 thriller. So I want to talk about that. But listen, 2 days later, it was CBA regaining control of the Holy War by leading most of the way. And then, after Ludden caught up, winning 52-50 on Colin Kelly's layup in the final seconds. CBA is now clearly a Class A contender behind the likes of JD, ESM, especially Whitesboro. In fact, Buddy was in here last week with Klinsky and saying, hey, listen, it takes a little time. The kids will gel. Kids will start working together. And that's exactly what we saw. Whitesboro, as I just mentioned, got to the last week of January still without a blemish, 12-0. The Warriors surviving a scare from Rome Free Academy last week to get their 12th straight win. Let's talk about the Gaelic Knights, and let's talk about Grimes. Let's talk about CBA.
We mentioned Whitesboro. They had a couple of tight games this week, but they hold off Homer, they hold off Central Valley Academy, and now they're 14-0. Can they go all the way, especially in that tough Trolley Valley League, without a blemish? That remains to be seen, but they are still undefeated as of now. CBA did not have a letdown following the thing. A very impressive win over Marcellus on Friday. As for Ludden, they bounced back with some solid wins this week over the likes of Skinny Atlas. And among the 8 teams, JD and ESM both won their games this week. And JD plays Johnson City this afternoon, setting up Tuesday night's rather big rematch between JD and ESM. The first time they played, ESM pulled it out in the final seconds. JD's been burning to get back at them. I don't think the Red Reds have lost since that game. It'll be quite a battle. One of the biggest home games ESM has had in their program's history, probably.
Like burning love. Lowville, ladies and gentlemen, still atop the Class B rankings here in boys basketball. Held off Ogdensburg 61-57 last week to get 13-1. Elsewhere, by the way, when I mentioned Skinny Alice got a last-second win, great win over Casanova in a game that could turn fortunes for both teams. By pulling away from Fellow Stake, ranked Onondaga 67-51. We'll get to the rest of them. First, let's talk real quick, Phil, Lowville, and then I want to talk Skinny Atlas.
Well, with Lowville, they keep handling their business up in the Frontier League. They're rolling through opponents, and they're shown by the other. If there is a main challenge to them in Class B right now, it's Salve. They've managed to win 4 or 5 games in a row, even without Justin Scott in the lineup. And then once he returns, the Bearcats have as much depth as anybody and balance as anybody. And they've been very consistent as well. And mentioning Weedsport, they were undefeated. But on Wednesday night, it was Cato Meridian, despite a 500 record, who up and beat Weedsport 62-55, knocking the Warriors from the ranks of the undefeated. And they mostly did so because of Marcus Ramicus. What a name. You could have seen him as a Roman legionnaire back when. But he had 32 points, hit 5 3-pointers, and the Blue Devils, a local rivalry, Weedsport and Cato. Finally, Weedsport takes a blemish this season, but they don't have the pressure of being undefeated. Now you wonder about them. Both Weedsport and Cooperstown, the favorites in Class C, have taken some defeats the last couple of weeks. Makes things maybe a little more uncertain, and maybe makes teams like Onondaga and others think that they could challenge those two. We'll see. All
right, so you mentioned a lot. Weedsport just talked about undefeated 14-0, gets a big test as they did. Salve Cooperstown saw its 10-game win streak ended by Herkimer. Class D, DeRider scored 107 points in a game against Sea Lake Valley last week. We'll get a test out, or got their test here with Faith Heritage. We'll talk about that. Lime also protecting 13-1 record, met Copenhagen. So a lot of good stuff in Class D, too.
Lime, we have a player named Wilson who passed 2,000 career points on Tuesday in a double overtime victory over Copenhagen. What a game that was. And what a game on Wednesday. We had the Faith Heritage players here on our show last week, and they gave DeRuyter everything they could handle. But ultimately, the Rockets won 66-65 with 23 points from Ben Barnes, 19 points from Trey Foster, and despite 29 points from Faith's own 1,000-point scorer, Aiden Retzos. But it shows that, again, Faith Heritage can match up with the best teams in the D ranks, and you know those sectional playoffs are going to be really good because you have Faith, you have Lime, you have DeRuyter, you have Hamilton, you have Briskany, a whole bunch of contenders in there as well.
Phil, what do you think about where everything is right now shaping up? Clear-cut favorites in terms of, if you look at AA, A, B, obviously C, all the way down, doubles to Ds, but kind of give me a real quick from the top down.
All right. In AA, I think there's probably a top tier of 3, maybe 4. I mean, I think the 3, you have to say West Genesee, Baldwinsville, and Bishop Ludden. Maybe you throw Corcoran in there at their best, but they've lost to West Genesee twice. And like we mentioned, Liverpool, Henniger, Nottingham are teams that can knock them off anytime, maybe even RFA. We can see that. In the A's, I think you have a top tier of Whitesboro, JD, ESM, but the way CBA's been playing recently, add them to the list. Central Square is a sleeper, I think, as well. They've been kind of just hanging around, winning some games. They knocked off ESM, one of the only 2 teams to do so this season. That's one of those A teams. And the Bs, I think everyone chases Lowville. I think Solvay is the prime challenger to them right now, the way they've been playing. And they play Weedsport today. Interesting game there, a non-league game between the Bearcats and Warriors. In the Cs, even though they lost earlier this week, Weedsport, maybe that takes the pressure off them not having to worry about a perfect record. But I think they obviously have to worry about Cooperstown, who've won 11 of 12. And then you've got maybe Onondaga as well. And in the D ranks, we mentioned those teams just recently. DeRuyter, Lime, Hamilton, Faith Heritage. All those teams are in the mix. Copenhagen pushed Lime to double overtime. So they're all going to be interesting sectional playoffs. I don't think anybody can really feel safe once you hit mid-February.
All right, nice job. Let's move on here to girls basketball for a second. A pair of close losses against tough competition last week left JD plenty hungry. Another Class A contenders intrigued as well, such as New Hartford, who rode Kaya Henderson's 39 points to win over CBA 6 days after losing to the brothers. While Bishop Ludden, who had struggled for a while in girls basketball, won a big one over Bishop Grimes at home, then lost to CBA 2 days later. And then at least in Class AA, it's a bit more structured. You got CNS atop the league standings. Baldwinsville close behind. The North Stars facing rival Liverpool. That happened late this week as the Bees, who completed a sweep of FM in a tough one last Friday, they welcome West Genesee. That happened last night. And then you got to remember pesky Nottingham side earlier also doing their thing. So
Nottingham, congratulations to Amaya Williams for passing 1,000 career points yesterday in their win over Henniger. Nottingham's a team that's given them the teams some real battles. Baldwinsville has not stumbled since the CNS game. Beat West Genesee 54-37 last night, about an even more bigger margin than they did the first time around. No doubt Beeville was awakened by their only loss of the season. Looking up in the A rank, CBA had a pretty good recovery from that loss to New Hartford. First, they beat Bishop Ludden on Sunday afternoon in a close one. Then on Friday, they cooled down one of the hottest teams in Section 3, your Marcellus Mustangs, who had won 10 in a row before that.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, Marcellus has been so impressive. With just a 7-player roster right now until May Lamar comes back, and they'll have 8, but they've been rolling through people. Still, CBA beat them last night 64-49, getting 20-plus points from Brooke Jarvis and Heitman as well. And CBA might be the main challenger to JD in terms of the Class A teams, but we still have, because Cortland, who only had 1 loss coming into this week, JD handled them earlier this week with their typical defensive effort. So it still runs through the Red Rims until proven otherwise.
All right, real quick, having finally entered the Class B rankings to join long entrenched South Jefferson and Oneida. Phil just mentioned Marcellus. Also, we need to talk about Lawson Casanova on Tuesday. Let's chat a little bit about CBA last night. I want to get to Oneida and Weedsport. Port Byron. I mean, a lot of stuff happening here in the rest of the league, Phil.
Speaking of Weedsport, we've had her on the program, I think, a week or two ago, Nemec.
Yep.
She had 2 40-plus games. Thursday night, she dropped 50.
Oh, I thought
50 points in a game against, I think, whatever.
Well, she had 42 against 42, Port Byron.
Yeah, 42 against Port Byron, and that was just a warm-up back. 50 she did against Kayla Meridian, 79. Maybe she was mad that the boys' team lost because she outscored them by 16 by herself.
Ouch.
Meanwhile, South Jefferson keeps going as the top B team near the top of the state rankings. And also, Oneida keeps going. They still only have the one loss, beat Utica Notre Dame. Oneida and Marcellus next Saturday will be a very interesting game, potentially a playoff preview. And don't forget Syracuse Academy of Science. It was on a pretty nice roll. Knocked off Cazenovia last night, knocked off CBA last week. They're a team you got to watch out for the Class Bs as well.
Also important, every team in Section 3 here has taken a blemish in girls basketball except for one, Brookfield. The Beavers 15-0 and going into Monday's game against McCraw. What happened, Phil?
They kept winning.
There you go. And the Class D has plenty of state ranking contenders from Copenhagen to Hamilton to Lyme. Great programs.
Well, Brookfield won 52-31 over McGraw, and now they're 17-0 because they also they also knocked off earlier this week. I mean, the 2 more wins. So the Beavers keep themselves as the top seed and probably out of the top seed. But like I said, because there's so many strong teams in Class D, no one's going to feel that's safe. And you got this. Copenhagen's defending sectional champions, and they've been pretty strong in the Frontier League. Hamilton has been very quietly good in the CSCs. Poland's a pretty solid team. There's no shortage of contenders there.
All right. When Phil and I get back, we've got Spotlight interview, members of the Chittenango girls volleyball team, and Summit Car Spotlight interview. We'll be right back. ESPN Radio, 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it. Mike Bristol, the great Phil Blackwell, always taking care of business here, so we appreciate that, of course. We've got a great program thus far for you. So we got a SummitCars.com spotlight interview with members of the Chittenango girls volleyball team. Bears head coach Amy Simmons is here. Coach, how are you?
Great.
Let's talk for a minute here. Let's talk a little bit about the team. So let's see here. Phil and I were chatting a little bit earlier. 14 wins in a row, and then Wednesday night get revenge against Cortland. Let's talk about, first of all, the 14 in a row. Tell me a little bit about the team and the win streak. Feeling good.
Yeah, it's been a really great season.
Okay.
We kind of got off to a slow start, and around January 1st, we kind of had a little team meeting, and we recentered ourselves and set some more goals, and just continued that win streak.
Talk about the win streak, how you've gotten there, how the girls have been developing, how coaching has been, some of the wins have been. Talk a little bit about that.
Like I said, we got off to a slow start. We came together as a team. This year's team is a total team effort. Everybody is contributing. We have some strong hitters, which comes from our passers, our great setters. It's just been a team effort this year.
All right, let's go around the board. Jada, how are you? Say hello to everybody, Jada.
I'm great. How are you?
What's going on?
Not much right now. Glad to be here with my team.
That a girl. What's your favorite part about this team?
I'm just really proud of us as like a whole. Like everyone's here for each other. Everyone works well. And I just feel as everyone is like here for each other.
And how you say your name? Massaclat?
Massaclat, yes.
Close. Just close there. What do you want to study in college when you get there?
I'm studying biology with a pre-vet track at the moment.
Nice.
I'm looking at a lot of different colleges right now. I'm not sure yet, though.
Not sure. Any favorites? Any top 2, top 3?
St. Lawrence is my top at the moment.
Nice.
I'm waiting to hear from Clemson and Virginia Tech, too.
Very, very good. Savannah, what's going on? Savannah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell me a little bit about this team.
Well, it was a little rocky in the beginning, but then we got really close, and I wouldn't want to be with anybody else this season.
Of course.
I love them
Right.
so much.
Right.
And yeah.
All right, good job. Sarah, what's going on?
Nothing much, just on the radio.
Good to have you. Good to have you on the radio. What's your favorite part of this team?
I'd have to say, just over the season, we've all kind of become best friends and just always laughing, always joking around, and always dancing together is probably my favorite part of the season.
I like that too. Phil loves to dance too. He comes in the studio. Chelsea Lamphere, where are you? What's
I'm on the radio.
You are too. Your girls are hilarious.
Thank you.
Tell me about the girls volleyball team. What's your favorite place, favorite part, favorite whatever about this team?
I think my favorite part is I've been playing with these girls since like I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've grown together and we've gotten to all like develop together and become like really good volleyball players and get to win now, I think that's my favorite part because like I don't know. I just feel like it's something special to be able to play with these girls since you were in middle school and now, like, hopefully win another sectional title with them.
Absolutely. Great job. Julianne Kent, where is she?
Hi.
What's going on?
I'm on the radio, so that's kind of cool.
You are too. Your parents listening?
I think so.
Nice.
I think I told them the wrong radio station, actually.
How can you mix up ESPN? Julianne, tell me about Chittenden girls volleyball.
I wouldn't want to be a part of any other team. I truly believe we have like the best team chemistry, and that's something we work on like throughout the season. Like everyone else said, it was rough in the beginning, but we've worked and we've done a ton of team bonding and become so close over the season.
Good work. Julia Graham. Where's Julia Graham?
Right
What's
here.
up, Julia?
Nothing much.
What position are you?
I'm a setter.
Yeah. Having fun?
Yeah.
Do you like most of the girls?
Yeah, I love them.
Everyone?
Yep. Everyone.
What's your favorite part of the team?
I don't know. I just really like the team chemistry, and it's always fun to be around everybody on the team, no matter whether you're on the court or on the bench.
Nice.
It's the best.
Very cool. Olivia Fawcett. What's going on?
Not much.
Do they joke around about your last name at all?
Yeah, sometimes.
Give me some nicknames. Any good nicknames? Like time to turn the water off or stuff?
Water faucet.
Yeah. You got a favorite or no?
They're all just really funny.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of this team?
I like that we can all joke around with each other and like laugh on the bench and even on the court, just watching them play. It's all so exciting.
Very cool. Where's Cameron? Cameron.
Hi.
Kakison? Which one? Kakison. What's going on with you?
Not much.
Good to have you in here. Glad you're wearing a hat like me. That's cool. Favorite part of the team with Chittenden here?
I would definitely say the energy that everybody has, and no matter if you're on the bench or on the court, everybody's cheering everybody on and just hyping each other up.
Very nice. Lily Callahan. What's up, Lily Callahan? Come on over and say hello to everybody.
Hello.
What year are you? Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior? Sophomore. Yes. So one of the younger members of the team. How have the girls been to you?
Amazing.
Just a huge family?
Yes.
What's your most exciting, what's the best game that you got to watch or participate in?
Definitely Cortland.
Was it?
Yep.
No question about it. Mary Tizone.
Hi.
I get that right, kind of? Mary?
Yeah.
Tizone?
Yep.
Nice. What's going on, Mary?
Not much.
Talk about the team as well.
I think we're really great together, and it's great that we've been winning, and we've had a great time, and just working well together and getting things done.
You like your coach?
I do.
That's
amazing.
That's a bonus. Tony. Where's Tony? Neveldine, right? Tony Neveldine?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get everybody on air so then I can ask some questions. What's up, Tony?
The usual.
Chittenden girls volleyball team. What year are you, Tony?
I'm a junior.
Junior. Okay. And how has it been for you so far?
I think it's pretty awesome, especially because I didn't know a lot of these girls before the season started. And then as the season kept going, we really learned a lot about each other.
Very, very nice. I like that. All right, Coach, let's get going here. Let's go back to December 10th in the immediate aftermath of Cortland loss. What happened? Let's talk about how you guys rebounded, what you tell the players. Elaborate a bit. Give me something good.
Cortland is good. They have a really good program. They have a really good team. It was not fun to lose, but at least we lost to a good team. But we knew going forward we didn't want to lose again. So we pulled together and we changed up the lineup a little bit. We changed up some of our plays a little bit, and we pulled together and just started working a lot harder to reach the goals we had set at the beginning of the season.
Very nice. We've got our SummitCars.com spotlight interview. Jada, we're going to go to you for a second. Let's talk about, more importantly, what adjustments were made and what it came to rematch with Cortland on Wednesday. What did you girls do different?
After that game, it was a very hard loss for us. Like we said earlier a few times, it was a little bit rough in the beginning of the season. So after that game, we realized we need to pull together as a team. Each person on this team is very good at certain things, and we needed to capitalize on each person's specific skills. So we switched runs, plays and such, mixed around defenses, mixed in different people, and just trying to find different things that was working. And the biggest thing for us was definitely chemistry. We started doing team dinners. We did team dinners on the bus.
Nothing like a team
stuff
dinner.
Like that.
I agree.
It's pretty great.
No question about it. You can keep going, though. That was good. Who makes the best team dinner?
Tully's. Tully's definitely does.
So that's what you guys do. You like going to Tully's. All right, let's keep rolling. I want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff in recent years. So, Sarah and Chelsea, let's go to you two and talk a little bit about this for a second. In recent years, you just steamrolled a lot of opponents. Phil and I were chatting a little bit about that. Talk about staying humble, but also staying hungry and continually, doing as well as you girls are, but staying in a humble way. Sarah, talk about that for a second. Sarah Martin.
Well, I came onto the team last year as a junior, and it's pretty intimidating. It's a legacy that we have there at Chittenango, and just kind of having that drive to try and continue the legacy, it'll be a four-peat this year if we can get it done. And it's just something that drives you, and so we've just stayed hungry through those ambitions.
All right. Also, Chelsea, same question for you.
So last year we had like a great group of seniors that kind of led the team and were really good role models to us. And we also had Tyla Kutri, who is actually playing Division I volleyball now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think last year was we had Tyla and everyone was really humble. And I think this year we have to be humble because we don't have her. And it was kind of I think everyone was oh, Tyla's gone. They're not going to be as strong. So I think it was honestly not even being humble, but trying to prove we don't need to have we can basically do well on our own, which I think we've been doing.
Definitely smart. Many teams have, I guess, one setter. You've got two in Carolyn and Bela.
Yeah.
And Coach, I guess I'll go to you for a second. What works well? How do you mix things up? Talk a little bit about that.
Like one of the girls said, that these girls have been playing together since 7th grade, this group of seniors. So basically, there are starting 6 or 7. Tori Foreign got injured about a month ago, so now Julianne Kent has stepped into that spot and is doing a phenomenal job. So this group of girls has just worked hard together, and so their chemistry is great together. So that's what we've been going with.
Well, nice. Julianne, let's go to you for a second. Julianne Kent. Chat a little bit about, I guess, the depth up front and how effective that's been. Coach, go ahead. You can talk a little bit about the depth up front if you want. Go ahead.
Do you mean the hitting?
How versatile the lineup is? Yeah.
We are 7. We're actually 15 deep.
I mean, think about that.
Our starting 7 are great, but we have everybody here too that can just step right in and take over if somebody's having a bad day. But like Chelsea said, we had Tyler last year, but this year we have Jada, Savannah, Sarah, Chelsea, and they're all just equally strong. And it's so nice to not be one of them's going in the back row. When one of them goes in the back row, I know I have another one coming up to the front row. So we can be confident, all 6 players all the way around.
Chelsea, do your girls mix and match, and you like to kind of work together? Or does a certain group lineup you like better? What do you girls do?
Honestly, I feel like whoever's on the court, we all work together really well. So I think, like Miss Simmons said, we're 15 deep. If someone's having a bad day, you can put someone else in, and they'll do just as good of a job as anyone else, which I think is why we're so strong and we have such a good program. And that's mostly because of the summer camps and the club volleyball and pretty much just playing together all year long. And I think that's why we're so different is we have 15 girls that can get the job done.
Nice. Olivia, let's go to you for a second. Talk a little bit about stuff that happens during the summer. Do you girls play a lot of camps? You go to camps together, leagues together, summer stuff? What do you girls do?
In the summer, we do a lot of camps, but especially right now we're doing club and we have travel, and that's definitely has helped a lot of our girls just traveling.
Yeah, and
Silver East volleyball, it's helped us definitely get out there more and see more versatile players, stronger people, and that's definitely helped our skills.
Yeah, working on your game. Our Summit Car Spotlight interview members of the Chittenango girls volleyball team. Lily Callahan, where's Lily Callahan? Let's go to you again for a second, Lil. Being one of the younger players, are you trying to get as much volleyball in as you possibly can, or are you mixing up multiple sports, 2, 3 sports, or just sticking with volleyball?
Well, I play softball, and even with that, some of the girls on this team I play with last year, Jada and Savannah.
Yeah.
And so that helped this year with the chemistry with them, and they were very welcoming, and I just love them all.
Very nice. Mary, where's Mary?
Right
Mary, let's talk about obviously a few seniors on the team, younger team. Talk about some of the younger players and participating here.
Younger players in this team. Well, we have Gabby and we have Lily, and they've both really come into our team really strong. They're not overconfident. They always are excited to be able to play and be able to help us out to make sure that we're winning. They've merged into our varsity team really well.
Mary, great answer. Tony, where's Tony? Tony, step up here for a second. I think, and Phil had mentioned this, but watching, I guess, West Hill win a Paris State Class B, titles in the fall. Talk about knocking a team off like that. Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot of us, mentally to go into a game and be like, okay, we're going to do our best no matter what happens. And the energy actually, plays a big part in it. And it's really nice when everyone on the bench is, really energetic and stuff because you can see it, a visible difference. So when you go into a game, you have to have the right mindset or else you'll sway the game.
No, you're right. Good job. Where's Cameron? Cameron, jump in here for a second. That was good when you talk about a certain mindset. I mean, what is the mindset going into each of your matches that Coach teaches you guys?
It's definitely a key part, and you definitely have to stay positive through everything. And no matter if someone messes up, you have to keep going and stay strong mentally.
That's really good. All right, let's do some shout. Oh, Phil, you got one? Hold on. Phil Blackwell, Eagle Newspapers, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want to neglect the specific thing about how you were talking about how you were dedicating this season to all the moms for a very specific reason, Amy. Just elaborate on that.
So, like I mentioned earlier, the girls have all traveled together since they were in 7th grade, and all the families traveled together. So we've all become, and I was their coach for these years, and so we've all become really close. And then this past fall, Chelsea's mom passed away from cancer, and Tori Foran's mom had a massive stroke, and she's still recovering. So it was kind of like the elephant in the room, and we started to embrace it. And we've dedicated the season to not just those two moms, but all of our moms because they have been there through everything.
Yeah. Chelsea, we'll go back to you for a second. I lost my mom when I was 11. So it's obviously hard. Talk about pushing through and just look at what you've been able to do.
So when I lost my mom, it was in the middle of cross-country season.
Yeah. Look at Phil is like your all-star writer. Did you do a story? Have you done a story on her yet? Just her? You better start planning.
So actually, when I lost her, it was the night before McQuaid, and I don't no one here probably knows this, but McQuaid's a really big invite in Rochester.
Yep.
And so I was talking to my family, and I'm it was late, and I was I need to run. My mom would want me to run.
Yeah.
So I got on a bus at 5:30 in the morning, and it was rough. I couldn't even fall asleep, and ended up racing. And I think honestly, that's why I love sports. Is obviously I love my mom, but my mom watched me through sports since I was 5, and I think playing sports and having chemistry with all my friends and so many parents have been second parents to me.
Yeah.
So I think that was also really helpful. So the support I have from my teammates, the parents, it really got me through, and it got me through to still do what I love because I know that's what my mom would want me to do.
I love it. Chelsea, sweetheart. Good job. That a girl. Chelsea, what do you want to do? You should be a broadcaster. All right, let's go. You should. You're honest. That's good. All right, let's go around the room. Some shout outs. Jada, who do you want to give a shout out to?
I want to shout out to my parents. They've been behind me through everything, every choice I've made. They've taken me to tournaments. It's amazing. And I'd like to shout out to Savannah's grandma. She's become of such a person that's in our stands every single game, and she's so supportive of us.
Nice. Savannah?
I'd like to
Is that
thank...
an Apple Watch, Savannah?
Yes.
I like the band. I like the yellow band. Yeah, all right, go ahead.
I'd like to thank my parents and my grandparents. They've never, ever missed a game, ever.
Awesome.
And they always just, sometimes I get really mad and upset, and my mom, pulls my head out of my butt, and she's like, come on, you need to, get up. And she just helps me with a lot of stuff, and I wouldn't want anybody else there.
You're cracking me up. Good job. Sarah, did I give you a chance to give a shout out? What's up, Sarah?
I like to give a shout out to my dad. He's pretty much my best friend. I play soccer, and he's been my coach, but also just my biggest role model. And
Love
also,
it. Good job.
My stepmom, Big Sarah.
Big Sarah.
My name's Sarah, so it's a little confusing in our house. I'm Little Sarah. She's Big Sarah.
I wasn't sure if she's big.
No, she's skinny. Don't worry.
Not that, but you know what I mean.
but and then my little sister.
Like I didn't know she was a
Addie.
wrestler or something. Like it was like a wrestling name. All right, your sister. That's cool. What else? All right, good job, Chelsea.
Definitely my dad, because like now that like he's a single parent, he's somehow, my brother's playing basketball right now, and somehow he goes to like every single one of mine and my brother's games. So definitely big shout out to Chad.
Chad, good job, buddy. Big shout out to Big Chad. Juliana Kent, where are you? Shout out.
I would like to give a shout out to my parents for always supporting me, and especially my mom for being at every single game
Nice.
and tournament since 7th grade, and always believing in me and pushing me to do better.
Amen. Good job, Julia Graham. There you are.
Yeah, I'd
There you
like
are.
to shout out my mom and my dad, because no matter whether they're working or not, because they work late hours, they're always able to get to my games. Whether it's on time or not, they're always there. So shout out to them.
Great job, Olivia. Where's Waterfall? Go.
I'd like to shout out to my parents for always being at the games and supporting me. Even when I think I'm not doing my best, they're always telling me that like, as long as you try your hardest, that's all you can really do.
Got a lot of good parents here in Chittenango. Cameron, where are you, Cameron?
I would like to shout out my parents, because I've been playing volleyball since 7th grade, and they've spent so much time and money coming to everything. And also my sister, because she's been my biggest role model, and she's the one who inspired me to play volleyball.
All right, Lily.
I'd like to give a shout out to my parents for always being there for me and for spending so much money for me to play the sports I love. And also to all the coaches I've had, because they're amazing and I wouldn't be the player I was without them.
Very nice. Mary.
I want to give a shout out to all my coaches who make sure that I'm always playing. And Coach E, he let me on the team freshman year, and it really changed the way I thought about sports.
Amen. Tony.
On the
You're
Okay, I'd like to give a shout out to my parents for doing everything they can to help me out with volleyball, and a shout out to Jennifer Morton, who made me try out for the team in the first place.
Very nice. Coach.
I'd like to give a shout out to the other coaches in the program, Coach Loftus, Coach Chiz, and Coach E.
All right, nice job. Girls, give yourselves a big round of applause. Chittenango Girls Volleyball Team. We'll be right back. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1.
This is the Aflac Insurance Inside High School Sports Show, brought to you by SummitCars.com.
All right, here we are back on it. Mike Bristol, the great Phil Blackwell, and terrific show so far for you. Coach at our Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview, members of the CNS girls basketball team, Coach Eric Smith and his crew. Coach, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How about you?
Good. I'm doing good. Good to have you on. All right, so tell me a little bit about the team here, where you're at, how you feel. What, 8 in a row right now? 8 in a row? 9 in a row? Close?
Something like that. Sounds good.
All right, well, how do you feel about the girls right now?
Good. We're in a good place, continuing to get better. I think 5 or 6 games left in the season to continue to grow, but we're in a good place.
What needs to happen? What needs to change? What are you a little bit stressed about? What are you feeling good about?
Health. We've got a lot of injuries right now that we're hoping to come back from, but other than that, not much.
All right, very nice. Jessica Cook, what's up, Jessica Cook? Jessica, got to get in front of the microphone.
Sorry.
Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
Good job, Jessica Cook. So talk a little bit about the team. How do you feel?
I've always felt like we have very good chemistry on our team, and we've always put our faith in each other. So especially this year, I think we're working well together rather than just like trying to get one player to do one thing. And cohesively as a team, we are doing well every game, not just one person holding everyone up.
Very nice. Mackenzie, let's go to you here for a second. Talk a little bit about, kind of elaborate on that if you can. Just, where you're at, what's been really working for you guys.
I think kind of the same thing Jess said. We've played together for a while, and even the new girls that we have pulled up this year learn quick, and we all are just work well together on the court, on and off the court too, helps a lot. We have a lot of diverse players, which helps our game because we can go at it from anything. So
very nice. Gabby, let's go to you. Let's talk about, I guess, as a team, and both girls kind of talking about that to start, but some of the setbacks that happened earlier this season, and some against some high-caliber competition, but how you just kept moving and keep going forward. How you guys kind of work together.
I think playing the
good competition early was good for us because it made us realize what we needed to work on and how we can push to get better as a team. And ever since then, we've been working really well together to push everyone to do their best. Like if someone's making a mistake, high-fiving each other and just encouraging each other to keep working.
What are some of the things, maybe some of the basic mistakes that were happening that have been corrected? Is it some stuff with the offense where you need to be defensively, help D? What were some of those things?
I think in the beginning, our help defense was a little off, and I think it's because we were just getting used to each other. But as the season's been going on, our help defense has been getting a lot better.
Very nice. Alexander, let's go to you for a second. What's your favorite part of this team?
Oh, definitely the chemistry.
Yeah.
Everyone gets along really well, and we all get along and play to our strengths. So
Playing together for a long time?
yeah,
How many years? What do you guys think? I mean, since like 3rd, 4th grade, something like that?
yeah. It's ever since a really young age, we've been in like optimist groups and AAU teams.
It's kind of the best part of being able to kind of grow up together and being like the same school and playing sports together. I mean, it's awesome. Coach, I guess from you went, 1-3 in that Nike Tournament Champions in Arizona. But as the players were talking about, probably a great trip, fun trip, ton that you've learned. What did you take from that?
First, I thought the best part of the team was me. I'm not sure what the problem is with that.
Exactly.
I love the sarcasm.
Sarcasm? That's not.
Never.
Take from the trip, I like to go out and play different teams to see that there's elite level basketball out there.
Yep.
Kids around this area see, okay, this is good basketball, but there's really, really good basketball out there. To be able to see the speed of a game, the height of players, the different things that they're able to do, and also just to boil down to see basketball's not much different. It's just it's played the same, but you can play it at a different level, a higher level, and also that we got to go hang out in 70-degree temperatures when
Not
it was
too
0
bad.
degrees here. So
Yeah, not too bad. We've got our Upstate University Spotlight interview, Upstate University Hospital Spotlight interview, Cicero North Syracuse girls basketball team. Jessica, let's talk to you for a second. The biggest relief at the fact that the offense is getting more diverse. Talk a little bit about that. You don't have to put up, I guess, 25 or 30 a night. It's kind of spread out, and it's nice to have some equal scores.
Yeah, I think I've always kind of put like a lot of pressure on myself to do well and excel. And I think this year has made me realize like I don't have to be the number one scorer every game. I mean, I try my hardest every game, but like I'm so proud of like when my other teammates have stepped up, and like I know that they're proud of themselves when like they beat me, because I mean I've always thought of myself as a competitor.
Yep.
So like when I did well, but they did better than me, I felt so much pride in the rest of my team. It's just it always used to like rattle me, like, oh, maybe I'm not doing well enough.
Right.
Like, so many people can do well at the same time, and I think I had to get myself out of that mindset, and I'm really happy with my team this year.
Very nice. Mackenzie, let's ask you this question. We'll also ask Gabby and Alexandra, but just the fact that the presence of Jessica, Julia, Rowe, let's talk about those two girls and their contributions.
They both obviously made great contributions to the team, and even like say a team will center their defense around maybe double teaming the post, making sure locking them down. We have a bunch of shooters who can make shots, so our team is super diverse. Whatever other teams throw at us or try and stop us, we have an answer for it. So, and Jess and Julia helped tremendously for that.
Gabby, your thoughts?
I think a lot like what Mackenzie said, whatever the team throws at us, we're ready to step up and do whatever we need to do.
Very good. Alexandra?
Everyone plays their hardest, and we know each other's strengths, so we just rely on each other and trust each other.
Very good. Gabby, let's go to you. Against Baldwinsville, I want to talk about this. What was the key to beating them the first time, and what we'll need to do in that rematch a couple weeks from now?
I think the key was us working together and playing composed and playing our game. Like, Baldwinsville is a great competition for us, but we just need to focus on our game and what we do well.
Eric, are you typical, one game at a time, all that good stuff? Or, it's got to be a little hard not to look ahead a little bit.
No, not
for
that
you?
difficult. No.
Not for a great coach like you?
Well, I don't know about great, but it's for me, it's the process. It's I've always said that you have to win a certain number of games to qualify for sectionals, and then everything's 0-0. So if you can win those games, and the goal is to get better throughout the season. So if you win a regular season game against a great opponent or not a great opponent, a win's a win or loss is a loss, and you can learn from either one and move on.
Do you like how sectionals are structured? Do you like how things are?
Yeah, I think the committee has done a good job, especially with AA.
Yep.
Most of us play each other all year. They've done a good job with the teams out of our league to find a formula that will put them in the right place in sectionals. So, a couple years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, when the league started splitting with budgetary concerns, and Rome and Utica stayed and played in a different league. I think it was a little unfair, but still, in the end, you have to beat every team to win a sectional championship. Sometimes it's just in a different order of teams. So
no question about it. Eric Smith doing a great job. Girls doing a great job. Let's do some shout-outs. Jessica, who do you want to give a shout-out to?
I think I just want to give a shout out to my entire team because they've helped support me through the past. I mean, I've been on varsity for 4 years, and I think every year has been a different type of team.
Group, yeah.
There's been times when I haven't felt welcomed on the team, and I know there's been times when everyone kind of just feels kind of distant and lonely. But this year, I just think everyone is really come together, and there's no animosity, there's no
just
tension,
a great feeling,
and it
right?
really I think expresses itself on the court.
Nice.
Of how well we are together off the court.
I love it. Mackenzie?
I'm gonna shout out my family and mom and dad.
Nice. Gabby?
My family, mom and dad.
Very nice. Alexandra?
Coach Smith.
Nice. No question. Coach.
I'd like to add that too. Can I throw a shout out there too?
Coach, shout out. What do you want to give a shout out to?
Just my family.
All right, terrific job. Hey, girls, come on, give me a big round of applause. Great job. We'll be right back. ESPN Radio 97.7, 100.1. 77, 100.1. 77, 100.1. 77, 100.1. 77, 100.1. 77.